Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the weekly MMA Cycles Market Update. Today is the 7th of February, 2024, and this is Gianni DePocia, your host. We are coming into a couple key Uranus signatures right now. Venus is trining Uranus today, and then tomorrow the Sun will form a square aspect to Uranus. So let's go ahead and see how that is impacting financial markets right now. We know that Uranus can lead to breaks of key technical support or resistance zones, and the Dow is rallying nicely here on Wednesday. We haven't quite made a new all-time high, but we are close to doing so. Now, we are getting late in some various cycles that suggest downside risks are elevated, but overall, this still is a bull market and should be treated as such. We are also approaching various upside targets that we've shared in our reports, both in the Dow and in the NASDAQ composite here, making a new multi-month high. But I do want to zoom out here because you'll see that the NASDAQ composite has not made a new all-time high yet. So this is a key intermarket bearish divergence signal. While when you look at the NASDAQ 100, which is usually what we cover in our reports, you can see that this has made a new all-time high. So we have some key divergence here, and that could signal that a high of significance is near. So I do think that downside risks remain elevated in the near term. But looking in the next week, we have some hard aspects of note, including ones with Mars and Pluto. We have Mars ingressing into the sign of Aquarius on the 13th of February. And then the next day on the 14th, on Valentine's Day, will form a conjunction to Pluto. So maybe not the best day to pick a fight with your significant other on Valentine's Day. And then on that following weekend, we have a conjunction between Venus and Pluto. So I would keep a close eye on some debt markets and currencies. Take a look here at the 10-year Treasury yield, coming down a little bit over the last couple of days, but it does seem like we hit a secondary higher low in interest rates. That said, I do view this as a corrective rally right now. Could come into some key technical resistance in the 4.3, 4.4% zone. On the subject of currencies, let's take a look at the dollar, which continues to appreciate over the last couple of weeks. And I think with these Uranus signatures now, need to be ready for a break of technical support, which we are testing right now. And, don't be surprised if the dollar is retesting its lows from or against the euro sometime in the near future. And that beginning of that move could theoretically start now with these Uranus signatures, not to mention if and when stocks pull back, don't be surprised if you see a flight to safety trade into the US dollar. Let's take a look at crude oil with USO as a proxy. Nice rally here, but we did form a higher low. It still is a range-bound market, still working through some possible long-term cycles. No big aspects between Jupiter or Neptune coming up, so I wouldn't be surprised if this just remained as a range-bound market. Let's go ahead and take a look at GDX for a gold proxy. Was up nicely over the last couple of days, but now we are fading once again. It's going to struggle with the dollar strength, but I would be keen to keep an eye on precious metals with the hard aspects next week with Mars and Pluto. I think that, perhaps there is some sort of geopolitical event that could lead to, money flying into precious metals. I think there is some pretty good support behind the idea that we're in a new cycle in precious metals, but we still need some confirmation. The rally has been lackluster so far, and that's not typically the price action you see coming out of a cyclical low of importance. And last but certainly not least, let's take a look at Bitcoin. Still consolidating in this former support turn resistance zone in the $43,000 to $45,000 area. If it is going to break above this resistance zone, now is the time to do it with all of these Uranus signatures, not to mention Venus involved too. So below 43 to 45,000, I think we need to be a little cautious on the long side here, especially given where we are in the primary and the 16-month cycle. But I'm not going to get too into our Bitcoin analysis this week, because next week we'll have a special guest, Cryptodamus Robert Weinstein, who's a very good financial astrologer and analyst of crypto markets. So we're going to be having him on for an in-depth discussion on cryptocurrencies. So definitely would recommend you check out next week's episode. So that takes care of all of the charts that I wanted to review with you today. Just a friendly reminder that the monthly cycles report was just published on Monday and Tuesday. We've updated our monthly outlooks for stocks, bonds, commodities, and currencies. You can find all those reports at www.mmacycles.com. And then we have the Chinese New Year this week, so I want to wish all of our China viewers, readers, and subscribers a Happy New Year, and we will be publishing our Shanghai report on the following week. So for everything else, all of our educational content and reports, and for more information, you can find us at www.mmacycles.com. That's all for now. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.